Hey guys! Alright, so today we're going to talk about evolution, and we've sort of introduced it with this Contagion movie, which is really drastic and kind of shows a traumatic example of evolution. And then we played this little game where people got out through different rounds, through different changes in the environment, which some people were able to adapt to, but other people weren't. So we're going to kind of put this together into evolution today and see how it works. So, evolution itself is the process by which species change over time. So, a whole population of species have to be changing over a large amount of time. They're evolving. To evolve means to change. So, actually, we've already talked about one type of evolution, which is geological evolution. So, that's how the Earth changes over time. Biological evolution is what we're going to talk about in this unit, and that's how organisms change over time. So if you're thinking of geological evolution, you may want to write down next to this word some of these examples that we've used in our last unit. So think about weathering. Weathering breaks down rocks and changes the way the rocks look. So that's changing something on Earth over time. So it's an example of geological evolution. Think about plate tectonics and the movement of the continents and oceanic plates. That is an example of geological evolution because it's changing the way our Earth looks over time. This unit, we're going to focus more on how actual living things on our Earth have changed over time. So that's biological evolution. Okay, so you're going to fill in your graphic organizer now with geological and biological evolution. They go together. We can't talk about biological evolution without talking about geological evolution, which is why we talked about it first. So let's think of this example. Plate boundary interactions we learned about in our Earth history unit cause the Earth to change over time. This changes the environment of the organisms that live within it to change. Hence, geological evolution forcing organisms to adapt how they live, how they obtain food, and how they reproduce. So, if the environment's going to change, the organisms living in that environment also need to change in order to survive. So, when geological evolution occurs, organisms are mad. We call it mad. This is an easier way to remember it. They either move to a new spot, adapt so they get better at dealing with that environment and can live there, or they die out. So, you're going to fill in your graphic organizer like this. Geologic evolution is going to go on one side. That could mean plate tectonics, so a volcano erupting, more mountains forming, an earthquake happening. It could mean something like erosion, so rocks or things being moved out of an environment and taken to a new environment. It could mean a temperature change. Okay, that's going to change the environment. Those are our causes. Those geologic evolution, those changes in the earth, those cause biologic evolution. Biologic evolution is when species move to a new spot, adapt to the environment, they get used to it, they deal with it, and they keep living there, or they die out. So, some species that can't handle a volcano erupting, or an earthquake happening, or they can't survive with a temperature being higher or lower than it was before, some will die out. Others who can move will move to a new spot, and still others who are born with certain adaptations will be able to survive. So we're going to talk about those adaptations next.